الرحمن الرحيم إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونستهديه ونؤمن به ونتوكل عليه ونعوذ بالله العظيم من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله تعالى فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلن تجد له وليا مرشدا وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له له الملك وله الحمد يحيي ويميت وهو حي لا يموت بيده الخير وهو على كل شيء قدير وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله وصفيه وخليله أدى الأمانة وبلغ الرسالة ونصح للأمة وكشف الغمة وتركنا على المحجة البيضاء ليلها كنهارها لا يزيغ عنها إلا هالك فعليه أفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم وعلى آله وصحبه ومن استنى بسنته إلى يوم الدين اللهم اجعلنا منهم ومن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر آمين يا رب العالمين. وأوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل وقد أمرنا بالحق وقال تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. وقال تعالى يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. وقال تعالى يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. ثم أما بعد. We begin by praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and thanking Him and glorifying Him and declaring His perfection and our own imperfections. We bear witness that none has the right to be worshipped or unconditionally obeyed except for Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we bear witness that Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam is His final messenger, sent by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a mercy to all of the world, as a guide for mankind, as an example for us to follow. And so we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to send His peace and blessings upon Him, His family, His companions, and those that follow until the Day of Judgment. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us amongst them. Allahumma ameen. Dear brothers and sisters, as you all know, insha'Allah ta'ala, probably next week, a week from today, you might be hearing the first khutbah of Ramadan itself. And I think, the topic, the theme of Ramadan is sounded, alhamdulillah rabbil alameen, throughout the masajid for a month in advance. Not 6 months like the Sahaba, but at least for a month, people start to get excited about it. We start to hear, these programs about Ramadan. We start to get ourselves prepared for the fiqh of Ramadan. We get ourselves hopefully spiritually prepared with knowledge and things of that sort. But in reality, it all comes down to your practice at the end of the day. It all comes down to your exercise. Ramadan is as practical as it gets. And so, subhanAllah, as many lectures as you might hear about Ramadan, as much philosophy as you might know about Ramadan, as many ahadith as you might know, as much fiqh you might know about Ramadan, a person that lives in a third world country that's never heard any of these lectures, but knows that when Ramadan comes, it's time to get serious, it's time to go to the masjid, it's time to read more Quran, and to avoid everything that's naturally displeasing to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and that makes you uncomfortable. His siyam might be better than your siyam and my siyam, just because he's practicing it. It's simple. At the end of the day, it's complex, but it's simple. Understanding its beauties and its wisdom is important. But at the end of the day, Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Man sama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban, ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi." That whoever fasts Ramadan with iman and ihtisab, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive all of the sins that came before. Now, the problem that we usually have is that we usually look at what comes first and what comes last, and we forget what comes in between. Usually this means if I fast Ramadan, all of my sins are forgiven. Simple as that. But we forget the two words that come in between, which are iman and ihtisab. You have to fast them also with iman and with ihtisab. You don't just fast Ramadan and all of your sins are forgiven, because there will be some people upon whom Ramadan comes that are not forgiven for their sins. And what a loser that person would be. As Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam was once saying, Ameen, Ameen, Ameen. And the Sahaba said, Ya Rasulullah, why are you saying Ameen? And as we know, Jibreel alayhi salam was making dua against three people. And in one riwayah, رَغِمَ أَنْفُهُ, his nose in the ground, meaning he's humiliated. What a humiliated person he is. And in one narration, قَابَ وَخَسَرَ, he has failed and he has lost. The one upon whom Ramadan came and left and he was not forgiven for his sins. How could we in this month, with this opportunity, not be forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? If this is not the time that you're going to be forgiven, if this is not the time you're going to redeem yourself, then when will you ever redeem yourself? If Ramadan, when the shayateen are locked up, is not the time that you finally kick your bad habits, that you finally do away with the things that you're not supposed to be doing, then when will you do those things? If at the most blessed time of the year, you're not able to do that. And I want to just talk briefly first and foremost about these two concepts, al-iman wal-ihtisab, as it relates to Ramadan, because it's actually very special. Iman, as we know, is faith, it's belief. But Ramadan is one of those very rare acts that engages each and every single aspect of your iman. It engages al-iman billah in a way that no other action could. It's iman billah more than anything else, because as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said in the hadith Qudsi, that all of the actions of the son of Adam are for him, except for siyam, except for his fasting. As-sawmu li wa ana ajzi bihi. Fasting is for me and I reward accordingly. Fasting is mine, everything else is his. That doesn't mean that your salah doesn't count. Your salah is more important than your fasting. That doesn't mean you don't have to give zakat or go to hajj if your Ramadan is right. But if you think about it, when it comes to any other action, there's some public element to it. Your salah, you're here. People see you in salah. There's some form of a public element. Your zakat, at the very least, the person you give your zakat to knows that you're giving your zakat. Your hajj, millions of people will see you doing hajj. Your group will see you doing hajj. People will know that you went to hajj. You come back, people will start to call you a hajji. There's a public element to every other aspect of your faith. But siyam, although there is a public element to your siyam, there has to be some level of ikhlas. There has to be some level of sincerity, because who knows? Maybe whenever you're not in front of people, you're eating, you're drinking. So that which will restrain you from doing those things requires a different sort of ikhlas, requires a level of sincerity. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, this one is mine, and I will reward accordingly. This is between me and my servants. So you engage al-iman billah. You engage al-iman bil-malaika, faith in the angels, in a way that you would not engage it with other actions. Why? Because in this month, you are watching yourself, making sure that the deeds that are being written down are the deeds that you want to be presented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There is no point, as the Prophet ﷺ said, لَيْسَ لِلَّهِ حَاجَةٌ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has no need for a person to abandon his food and his drink if he does not abandon lying and shahadatus, qawl az-zur, false talk, false testimony, ignorance, foolishness, foul language. Allah does not need your abandoning of food and drink. You're just dieting them. The point is, by restraining yourself from those halal things, you learn to restrain yourself from the haram things at the same time. So you're learning to engage al-malaika. More than anything so, if we look at Surah Qaf, when Allah Azza wa Jal mentions the qareen, on the second page of Surah Qaf, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us two references to al-qareen. In the first one, وَقَالَ قَرِينُهُ هَذَا مَا لَدَيَّ عَتِيدٌ. His qareen is someone who's tied to you. Someone who's tied to you. Such a close friend that he's tied to you. You would refer to him as a qareen. Right? Abu Bakr and Talha, radiallahu anhuma, when they were being tortured in the early days, they were called al-qarinayn. They were literally tied up and beaten together. So Allah is describing your qareen as saying, هَذَا مَا لَدَيَّ عَتِيدٌ. Your angel is saying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is what I have to present. This is what he's done. And Allah Azza wa Jalla responds, أَلْقِيَا فِي جَهَنَّمَ كُلَّ كَفَّارٍ عَنِيدٍ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, throw into hellfire every disbelieving, arrogant one. Then just a few ayat later, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says later, قَالَ قَرِينُهُ رَبَّنَا مَا أَطْغَيْتُهُ. His qareen said, oh my Lord, I did not lead him astray. And who is the qareen here? It's not the angel, it's Shaytan. It's Shaytan. The same word is used to describe opposite entities here. your angel and Shaytan. And in Ramadan we have an opportunity, because we know, as the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, وَصُفِّدَةُ الشَّيَاطِينَ, the shayateen are locked up. So now it's you, your nafs, and that malak, those angels, to see what they are writing and what they are presenting to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You're aware, you're paying attention. And then we know that in this month, al-iman bil-kutub, belief in the books of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And an authentic narration of Al-Tabarani, we know that the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said every single scripture was revealed in Ramadan. Every one of the kutub was revealed in Ramadan. And in particular, the first way Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala describes this blessed month of Ramadan, شَهْرُ رَمَضَانَ الَّذِي أُنزِلَ فِيهِ الْقُرْآنِ. This is the month that the Qur'an was revealed. هَذَا شَهْرُ الْقُرْآنِ. This is the month of the Qur'an. This is the month that you engage the Qur'an. This is the month that you read the Qur'an in a way that you would not read it throughout the year. Now, whether that is Ash-Shafi'i rahimahullah taking it from once a day to twice a day, or Mujahid rahimahullah taking it from 7 times a month to 14 times a month, or whether it is the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when Jibreel alayhi salam comes to him, and instead of reviewing it with him once, Jibreel alayhi salam reviews it with him twice. This is the month that you acquaint yourself with the Qur'an. This is the month that the Salaf said, if a person does not complete the recitation of the Qur'an, that is a sign of his hypocrisy. This is that month when you're listening to the Qur'an being recited in Taraweeh, when you have your own regimen. This is Shahrul Qur'an. So you're engaging Kitabullah, and you're engaging all of the kutub, because they were all revealed in Ramadan. Al-Iman bil-Rusul, the belief in the messengers of Allah. How would we know how to fast had it not been for Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam? Aren't we trying to look at the sunnahs of the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam throughout the month of Ramadan? How did the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam break his fast? How did he eat his suhoor? How did he do his salawat? What were his habits during Ramadan? We try to actually learn to walk in the footsteps of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in Ramadan. What was the dua that he made whenever he broke his fast? What was this? What was that? We look at his life and we try to copy it. We try to follow in his footsteps. And in fact, we engage all of the Rusul, all of the messengers. Because as Imam Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah said, there was not a single messenger of Allah except that Allah mandated on him siyam, except that he had a regimen of fasting. So we're following in the footsteps of all of the messengers. And then we have al-iman bil-akhirah, believing in the hereafter. And think about this for a moment. When we know from the Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam that for the fasting person is 2 pleasures. One, when he breaks his fast, that sip of water never tasted so good. Breaks his fast, and he feels that sense of relief. But the real pleasure, the real relief, is when he meets Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the real relief. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will remove his face from the hellfire a distance of the journey of 70 years. Because he fasted that day for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's the true relief. You're engaging in akhirah because you want the greater relief on the akhirah. So you put yourself through that little hardship because you want to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and be relieved of your hardships. That al-iman bil-qadr, belief in divine decree. How do we engage belief in divine decree? Laylatul Qadr, more than anything else. In this month there is a night that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will decree all of the things to come for the next year. When it will be transferred from al-Lawh al-Mahfuz to the records of the angels. All of your deeds, all of your actions, whether or not you will even go to Hajj, everything, your rizq, decreed on that night. So don't you want to be worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on the night when that is decreed for the next year? Of course. SubhanAllah. Imanan wa ihtisab. Well, ihtisab is to seek the reward. And isn't that the true meaning of taqwa? كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. Verily fasting was prescribed upon you as it was prescribed on those who came before you, so that you could gain a sense of taqwa. You could learn taqwa. Learn to be conscious of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and to fear Him as a result of that consciousness. Abu Hurairah radiallahu ta'ala anhu described a person walking on a path of thorns, making sure that he's holding himself, making sure that he doesn't get pricked. And if he does get pricked, what does he do? He comes right back. He comes right back. He doesn't just continue to walk and keep getting poked. No. he comes back, seeking the reward, holding himself. خلي الذنوب صغيرها وكبيرها فهو تقى, as Sufyan ibn Uyayna rahimahullah says, abandoning the small ones and the large ones, because that is taqwa. That's true taqwa. وَاصْنَعْ كَمَاشٍ فَوْقَ أَرْضِ الشَّوْكِ يَحْذَرُ مَا يَرَى. Walking on a land that is full of thorns, making sure that you're not stepping on any of those spikes. لَا تَحْقِرَنَّ صَغِيرَةً فَإِنَّ الْجِبَالَ مِنَ الْحَصَى. Do not belittle the smallest action, the smallest sin, because verily mountains are made of pebbles. This is a time of taqwa. You watch every single thing that you do. Tark al-ma'asi. Watch those sins. Watch those bad deeds, and you hold yourself. You put yourself back into order, because this is a time of redemption. And how do you seek al-ihtisab that in this month? You look at the definition of taqwa in Surah Ali Imran, وَسَارِعُوا إِلَى مَغْفِرَةٍ مِّن رَبِّكُمْ وَجَنَّةٍ عَرْضُهَا السَّمَاءُ وَالْأَرْضُ أُعِدَّتْ لِلْمُتَّقِينَ. Rush to the forgiveness of your Lord and a paradise that is as vast as the heavens and the earth, promised for those who are conscious and fearful of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Who are they? الَّذِينَ يُنْفِقُونَ فِي السَّرَّاءِ وَالضَّرَّاءِ. Those who give in both hardship and ease. They're giving. They understand Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the one who provides. And I know in Ramadan, when you see someone standing up to fundraise, you say, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. We just had one yesterday. But your attitude should be, Alhamdulillah, this is more real estate in Jannah. This is a greater chance to increase my stock with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You restrain yourself from greed. You restrain yourself from stinginess. And you give, even though you might be in a hard situation. You give according to whatever your circumstances are. And isn't that the spirit of Ramadan that the Prophet ﷺ was, as Ibn Abbas and Aisha, may Allah be pleased with them both, narrated, in the month of Ramadan, more generous than the blowing wind? Indiscriminate, like a tornado, a hurricane coming through. Everywhere around the Prophet ﷺ was experiencing his sadaqah. He always gave sadaqah, but in Ramadan it was even to a greater extent. وَالْكَاظِمِينَ الْغَيْظَ, and the ones who swallow their anger. And what did the Prophet ﷺ tell us in Ramadan? If someone comes to you and starts to argue with you, or fight with you, or starts to curse you, or starts to speak in an ignorant way with you, فَلْيَقُلْ إِنِّي صَائِمٌ, then say, I'm fasting. That's ihtisab. I'm seeking the reward through the person who's insulting me. I'm seeking reward through the one who's angering me. So I swallow my anger and I say, Oh Allah. Of course, on a private level, I say, Oh Allah, I restrain my anger from this person, although I was fully justified in responding. So restrain your anger from me. وَلَحَافِينَ عَلَى النَّاسِ. Not only that, but they pardon people. They reconnect those bonds that were broken. What benefit would it be if you fasted this entire month and you read the Quran the entire month and you did everything right, but then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rejects everything because of a grudge between you and another brother? There could be two people in the masjid right now that try to avoid each other after salah. And the Prophet ﷺ informed us that whenever the deeds are presented to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and the narration of Ibn Hibban, rahimahullah ta'ala, Allah looks at the deeds of two people that are quarreling and says, أَنْظِرُوا هَذَيْنِ حَتَّى يَصْطَلِحَا. Leave these two until they fix what's between them. I don't even want to see their deeds. What's the benefit there? You pardon people, even though you know that that person was wrong. You go to that person and you say, forgive me, akhi, forgive me, I'm sorry. Let's be brothers fi sabilillah, let's be sisters fi sabilillah. I forgive you, do you forgive me? You pardon people. Why? Because of the dua of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, specifically in Ramadan. What was his favorite dua in the last 10 nights? Allahumma innaka afu tuhibbul afwa fa'fu anni. Oh Allah, you are one who loves to pardon. You are the pardoner, the one who loves to pardon, so pardon me. Forgive me. So you want Allah to forgive you, so you forgive other people. Man sama Ramadan imanan wa ihtisaban ghufira lahu ma taqaddama min dhanbi. You fast Ramadan with iman and ihtisab. then you can expect that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will forgive all of your previous sins. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to pardon us for our shortcomings. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to overlook our mistakes. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to live to see Ramadan, and to allow us to benefit this Ramadan, and to allow us to be forgiven this Ramadan. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala not to make us amongst those whom Jibreel, the best of the angels, and Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, the best of mankind, made dua against. But rather we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to elevate us to the status of the level of Jannah al-Firdaus in the companionship of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, in the highest level of paradise. Allahumma ameen. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله لكم ولسائر المسلمين فاستغفروه إنه هو الغفور الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين والعاقبة للمتقين. اللهم صل وسلم وبارك على عبدك ورسولك محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا. If I could ask everyone to move forward, inshallah, as much as possible. Please move forward, inshallah. Make space for those coming in late. Dear brothers and sisters, I want to conclude with connecting taqwa with something that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has connected it with in the Quran, what we're supposed to be gaining through this month of Ramadan more than anything else. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, Ya ayyuha alladhina amanu taqullaha wa kunu ma'as sadiqeen. O you who believe, fear Allah and be with those who are truthful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, many times when we're in our vulnerable states, we make promises to Allah. Whenever we find ourselves financially distraught, we make a promise to Allah. We say, oh Allah, if you give me money, if you allow me to get over this financial hurdle, I promise you I'll start giving more charity. I promise you I'll start going to the masjid more often. Oh Allah, if you let me get into the school, I promise you that I'll start doing this, I'll start doing that. Oh Allah, if you just get me out of this situation, I promise you that I'll never go back to that sin again. We make a lot of promises when we're vulnerable. Even people that are mushrikeen, kuffar, disbelievers, will make promises to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala whenever they are in their moments of vulnerability. وَإِذَا غَشِيَهُمْ مَوْجٌ كَالظُّلَلِ دَعُوا اللَّهَ مُخْلِصِينَ لَهُ الدِّينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala tells us that whenever they're being enveloped by the waves in the ocean on a dark night, imagine a person drowning. Even though he's a kafir, he's a disbeliever, he will call upon Allah sincerely. Make promises to Allah. Oh Allah, if you get me out of this situation, if you save me, I promise you I'll be a better person. I promise you I'll do this. But once Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala rescues them and brings them to shore, they completely forget. They completely forget. And let's face it, many times we do that too. If you ever look on an airplane, whenever the turbulence starts to get really bad, everyone starts to close their eyes and make dua in their own way. And then as soon as the turbulence stops, they pick up their cell phones, they call everyone that they know, and they talk about how crazy their experience was. But how many people will actually follow up on that dua that they were making at that moment? It's a form of dua. And the point is that usually when we're in vulnerability, it's easy to make dua to Allah. It's easy to ask Allah for things. It's easy to say, oh Allah, I promise you this and I promise you that. How many of us are struggling with a sin and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved you from a near-death experience? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala saved you from something huge. Whether or not you ascribe that rescue to Him. Allah saved you from something. And you said, oh Allah, this is the last time. I'm never going to do this sin again. I'm never going to do this sin again. But we're forgetting something very important. The point is not just to make promises to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala when you're vulnerable. As-sidq ma'Allah, being truthful with Allah, is fulfilling those promises when you're in that situation. Then Allah will know you in your adversity. Kun ma'Allah fi al-rikha' ya'rifka fi al-shiddah. Be with Allah in good times. Allah will know you in your vulnerable times. Allah will answer your dua in your vulnerable times. But we have to learn to be truthful with Allah. When we say we want to be forgiven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala this Ramadan, when we say we want this Ramadan to be the best Ramadan of our lives, when we say, oh Allah, I'm ready to change. I'm ready to change. I promise you I'm going to change my life, oh Allah. How serious are we when we make those claims? How many teenagers make those claims when they're in a really hard situation? How many people struggling with the economy make those claims, make those promises whenever they're struggling with their job situation? People always make promises when they're vulnerable. But there are people, مِنَ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ رِجَالٌ صَدَقُوا مَا عَاهَدُوا اللَّهَ عَلَيْهِ. There are people that are truthful with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, with the promises that they made to Him. And I want you to really think, Ramadan, your time for redemption. Ramadan, your time for forgiveness. Ramadan, your time to really change your life. How disgusting will it be if Ramadan comes and goes and you still have a cent, a penny of haram money? How disgusting will it be if Ramadan comes and goes and you're still insisting on the same sin? How disgusting will it be if Ramadan comes and goes and you have not abandoned your haram relationship, and you have not abandoned your drugs, and you have not abandoned your ill behavior, your bad behavior towards your family members. How disgusting will it be and what a waste it will be if Ramadan comes and goes and you don't change those things about yourself. And that's where the true sidq with Allah, the truthfulness with Allah really shines. Because as the Imam Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah said, أَعْمَالُ الْبِرِّ يَفْعَلُهَا الْبَرُّ وَالْفَاجِرُ. Anyone can do good deeds. Good deeds, anyone can do good deeds. Anyone can read more Quran. Anyone can come to the masjid more. Anyone can do more volunteer work. Anyone can give more charity. Anyone can do good deeds. There are atheists that do more volunteer work than Muslims. There are atheists that like to pray, that like to do meditation and yoga. There are atheists that do these things. Anyone can do that. Al-bar wal-fajr, a sinner and a righteous person. وَلَا يَقْوِي عَلَى تَرْكِ الْمَعَاصِي إِلَّا صِدِّيقًا. But no one can abandon sins unless he's truthful with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That's when you really know you're serious with Allah. When you're able to get rid of the poisons in your life. When you're able to get rid of the muhlikats, the diseases that stop you from progressing in your relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Oh Allah, I'm willing to hold myself. I'm willing to restrain myself. I'm willing to practice siyam. Siyam. And siyam means restraints. The linguistic meaning of siyam is restraint. I'm holding myself for you, O Allah. That's being truthful with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So there's a direct connection, dear brothers and sisters, between at-taqwa wa sidq. Ittaqullaha wa kunu ma'a as-sadiqeen. I want to leave you all with one story, one authentic narration, Sahih al-Jami', also narrated in Ibn Majah, which is a very beautiful, beautiful narration. And I've mentioned it 2 times in the last month, so if you heard it before, forgive me. وَلَكِنْ فَذَكِّرْ فَإِنَّ الذِّكْرَى تَنْفَعُ الْمُؤْمِنِينَ. We remind each other because the reminder benefits the believer. Where Talha ibn Ubaydillah radiyallahu ta'ala anhu says that I had a dream one night, and I was standing at the gates of Jannah, and next to me were 2 men, 2 Sahaba that had both passed away. They both became Muslim on the same day. Both of these men came to the Prophet ﷺ, took Shahada the same day. One of them died a year before the other as a shaheed. He died as a martyr. The other one lived for exactly a year after, and he died a normal death. He died a normal death. So we're standing, me and these 2 Sahaba, وَنَادَ الْمُنَادِي. And then the caller called, who to Jannah? The one who did not die shaheed, and who died a year after the other one. He called him to paradise first. Then, the other one was called to Jannah also. They both entered into paradise, and I saw myself standing in front of the gates of paradise, and I still had not entered, until I was told, go back because it's not your time yet. It's a good dream for him, because that means he's going to Jannah. That means, and he is from Al-Ashr al-Mubashirin al-Jannah, the 10th promised paradise. So he said the next day, when the Prophet ﷺ was sitting with the Sahaba, the Prophet ﷺ used to ask his Sahaba daily. He used to say, which of you saw a good dream last night? He used to always ask them, share your good dreams. So Talha said, I had a strange dream. And he told him this dream. And the Sahaba were shocked. And Rasulullah ﷺ said, مِنْ أَيِّ ذَلِكَ تَعْجِبُونَ. What are you shocked from? They said, Ya Rasulullah, the guy who went to Jannah first was not as good as the other one, and the other guy died shaheed. So how come he went to Jannah first? And the Prophet ﷺ listened to his answer. He says, أَلَيْسَ هَذَا قَدْ مَكَثَ بَعْدَ هَذَا سَنَةً. Didn't this person live a year longer than this person? He said, yes. He said, وَأَدْرَكَ Ramadan. And he caught another Ramadan. And he fasted and prayed in it. He read Quran in it. They said, yes. And the Prophet ﷺ said, فَمَا بَيْنَهُمَا أَبْعَدُ مِمَّا بَيْنَ السَّمَاءِ وَالْأَرْضِ. So the distance between them is greater than the distance between the heavens and the earth. Now every time I mention this narration, which again is an authentic narration, sanad and matan. Someone comes up to me afterwards and says that I insulted the shuhada. I didn't insult the shuhada. Rasulullah ﷺ did not insult the shuhada. Rasulullah ﷺ was telling us this month of Ramadan is really, really, really that special. It's that much of a mercy from Allah. It's not just the first 10 days being a mercy, the second 10 days forgiveness, the third 10 days being protection from hellfire. Actually, that narration is weak. There's an authentic narration. إِنَّ لِلَّهِ فِي كُلِّ يَوْمٍ وَلَيْلَةٍ فِي رَمَضَانَ عُتَقَاءٌ مِنَ النَّارِ. Every day in Ramadan is mercy, forgiveness, and being protected free from hellfire. Every day Allah is going to write some people. The first, second, third day, maybe the 27th, maybe the 21st, maybe the 18th, 17th. Every day Allah is going to write a group of people who He decided to free from hellfire because of that day of Ramadan. SubhanAllah. What a mercy of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And we can't take for granted that we will live to see Ramadan. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, inshaAllah, with full sincerity, Allahumma ballighna Ramadan. Allahumma ballighna Ramadan. Allahumma ballighna Ramadan. Allahumma ighfir lana warhamna. Wa'fu anna wa la tu'adhibna. ربنا ظلمنا أنفسنا وإن لم تغفر لنا وترحمنا لنكونن من الخاسرين. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم إنك عفو تحب العفو فاعف عنا. اللهم اغفر لوالدينا رب ارحمهما كما ربونا صغارا. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما. اللهم انصر المستضعفين في مشارق الأرض ومغاربها. اللهم انصر المستضعفين في فلسطين. اللهم انصر المستضعفين في الشام. اللهم انصر المستضعفين في برما. اللهم انصر المستضعفين في العراق وفي باكستان وفي الصومال وفي السودان وفي الشيشان وفي أفغانستان وفي كل مكان. اللهم أهلك الظالمين بالظالمين واخرجنا من بينهم سالمين. عباد الله، إن الله يأمر بالعدل والإحسان وإيتاء ذي القربى وينهى عن الفحشاء والمنكر والبغي يعظكم لعلكم تذكرون. فاذكروا الله يذكركم واشكروه على النعماء يزد لكم ولذكر الله أكبر. والله يعلم ما تصنعون. وأقم الصلاة.